The Cathari had cataloged over 6,000 intelligent species in their interstellar archives, every one assessed, categorized, and placed in the galactic order according to threat level, cultural complexity, and technological advancement. They were meticulous, proud, and above all, confident that no civilization could surprise them. Then came the humans. First contact was accidental, as it often was. A Cathari deep space probe detected a pattern of electromagnetic waves from a system previously marked as uninhabited. Upon arrival, they discovered Earth, an unassuming blue-green planet brimming with life. Primitive at first glance. No faster-than-light technology. No space-folding arrays. No mass drivers or quantum beacons. Yet the surface was densely populated, and the broadcast patterns indicated complex languages, cultural divisions, and near-constant global conflict. An observation ship was dispatched to monitor. It was crewed by scholars, sociologists, and biologists, non-military personnel, because the Cathari had no reason to believe this planet posed any risk. After all, they had endured the Akrill Hive Wars and the Devourer Plagues. They were masters of defense and deterrence. But from the first week in orbit, something about the humans unnerved them. The recording showed a species at war with itself, endlessly. Borders, ideologies, colors of skin, even imaginary lines in the sand sparked bloody conflict. They fought with everything from sticks to nuclear warheads. And not only did they survive such chaos, they thrived in it. Cities rose from rubble in years. Cultures adapted in decades, and no matter how many died, there were always more. The Cathari called for a psychological assessment. Surely this species must be chemically imbalanced, but the results baffled them. Humans felt pain, sorrow, guilt, yet they embraced madness willingly. Horror wasn't something they avoided. It was something they consumed. They watched stories of killers, monsters, and death for pleasure. They recreated wars as entertainment. Some wrote tales of planetary extinction and demonic possession, only to sell them as fiction. It wasn't a mistake. They liked being afraid. This is a species that dances with death, reported researcher Rake, her crest spine shivering. They name weapons after gods of destruction. Their children play games simulating mass murder. They joke about apocalypse as if it's weather. There is something fundamentally wrong with them. Still, protocol demanded they reveal themselves diplomatically. The Cathari prepared a formal approach, crafting messages of peace and cooperation in every major human language. The first diplomatic ship entered orbit, broadcasting greetings. It was met with silence, then signals, not from governments, but from individual hackers, rogue AI, and private satellites. Thousands of responses, each with different messages. Some welcoming, others threatening, many simply insane. One particularly unsettling message played repeatedly. "Come on down, freaks. We got room in the freezer." Nevertheless, Earth's unified governing body, the United Terran Assembly, eventually acknowledged the contact. An ambassador was sent, but the humans refused traditional protocol. Instead of a diplomatic hall, the meeting took place in an abandoned prison, once used for high-risk inmates. Rusted bars, graffiti-covered walls, and the faint smell of blood still clung to the air. The lead human representative, a woman named Director Fallon, smiled as she sat across from the Cathari envoy. "We figured this was fitting," she said. "You're here to meet humanity? You should start with where we put our worst." The Cathari were too disturbed to respond. Fallon continued, walking the alien envoy through twisted halls. "You study us, right? Tell me, did you watch the Holocaust? The Great Purge? Hiroshima?" She leaned in close. "That wasn't fiction. That was history. And we still made it here." "You celebrate these things?" asked Vrake, her translator trembling. "No," Fallon said calmly. "But we don't hide from them either. Horror is part of who we are. You want to understand humans? Don't look at our art. Look at our nightmares. We are our nightmares." That night, the Cathari requested an emergency extraction. They left orbit silently, broadcasting no farewells. The report filed with the Galactic Assembly was marked red-level anomaly. The humans were placed on a special watch list. Not to be provoked, not to be studied without armed escort, and under no circumstances to be invaded. But not every species got the memo. 2 solar cycles later, the Bracken Collective, a war-driven alliance of mercenary empires, ignored the warnings. They saw Earth as a weak, isolated world. No planetary shields, no orbital defenses, and a fractured political state. Easy prey. They launched an invasion force of 12 war carriers, each armed with antimatter torpedoes and thousands of shock troops. The invasion lasted 3 days. The first sign something was wrong was when the Bracken Marines began reporting psychological collapse. Human resistance wasn't just physical. It was emotional, mental, spiritual. They encountered traps that screamed with recorded cries of children, buildings covered in blood-like paint, and statues depicting grotesque versions of themselves. Human defenders wore masks with grinning skulls, played distorted music over wideband frequencies, and detonated their own homes with laughter. Some Bracken units surrendered without a fight, dropping to their knees screaming, "Make it stop." One Bracken commander, hardened by 100 campaigns, recorded his final message. "We came to conquer animals, but these are not animals. They are demons who learn to smile. May the stars damn us for waking them." After the last Bracken ship was torn from orbit by hijacked satellites and drones, Earth responded, not with a declaration of war, but with broadcasts played on every known galactic channel. It featured Director Fallon, seated calmly before a blazing fire. She said only this: "You thought horror was a weapon. You were wrong. It's our inheritance. We learned to survive not by fearing the dark, but by becoming it. We buried gods and built empires on bones. If you come here again, bring more than ships. Bring nightmares. Or stay home." The galaxy fell silent. Over time, Earth was granted a new classification: Human Exclusion Zone. No contact, no entry, no diplomatic overtures. But that didn't stop the stories. Ships claimed to pick up strange signals from the Sol system, garbled screams, distorted laughter, and images of children drawing war machines and blood. Some say the humans aren't content staying on Earth, that they've begun sending visitors of their own. A mining vessel near Proxima went dark. Its black box recovered months later. Final log. We found a human child floating in a capsule. No suit, no oxygen, just smiling. Then the crew started changing. Others claimed to see ships shaped like bones, crewed by entities with human DNA, but no vital signs. Some believe humans discovered something ancient and buried deep in their planet's crust, a force or infection that thrives on fear and adapts through trauma. Others think humanity simply evolved into something the rest of the galaxy was never meant to meet. But the Cathari know better. They know humans didn't change. They were always like this. The monsters were never under bed. They were upstairs, eating dinner, watching TV, raising families, wearing flesh and calling it skin, smiling, shaking hands, waiting.